Hey folks, welcome back to Super Mario 3D Land. We are here in Special World 3.
This is pretty much the world of the platforms. You've got the tilty platforms. You've got the platforms that fall beneath you like these donut ones here. Oh, it's got it all.
Oh, isn't it just the most wonderful thing? I have so much trouble with the pendulum platforms, I have to confess.
Really? Is it just the timing that you can't get the knack of?
I guess it's the fact that they go in an arc rather than straight back and forth.
Ah, so you have to contend with physics as well.
Right, and physics is not my forte. I'm an English major.
Yeah.
But, like, I expect them to be moving in a straight line intuitively, so they take longer to get where I expect them to be, I guess is what's happening.
I quite like this particular level. It's like nice and colourful, decent platforming. It's just, like you say, the timing on the pendulum platforms is a bit eh.
Like, it's something that I think is a problem on my end. It's not necessarily a game problem. But this is, again, one of the original levels for the Special World. And I think they actually did a pretty darn good job with it.
I guess you could say it's original, but it's taking an idea that was already present and just doing more of it.
Yeah, but it doesn't blatantly copy level geometry, as far as I could tell. Maybe I didn't look hard enough.
Very hard to do a long jump on that last bit, I should know, because I've done it before.
Now this one I'm less in love with, I have to admit. Because originally the level was like a bunch of these rotating platforms, and now it's also a bunch of these rotating platforms, but in a slightly different pattern.
They could have electrified them.
Yeah.
I forget, are there any of these floaty platforms that actually have spikes on them? Because I think if you combine the whole spike mechanic, you know, the spikes that pop out of the ground, with these, you'd have a bit more of a challenge.
I don't think there are any of that sort. There are rotators later on, I think in airship levels, that have obstacles of sorts on them. But, like, not timed obstacles like that.
Ah, okay. Well, these are just my ideas.
Yes, the pattern is different, but unless you specifically have trouble with rotating platforms, it won't be, like, significantly harder. And I guess if you suck at them anyway, either version would be hard, so...
These are actually some of my favourite platforming levels, with or without the Tanuki suit, and it's weird because I said earlier in the playthrough that I disliked the floodless levels of Sunshine, and they play mostly the same as these.
Now then, climbing a tree once again. I complained about a mismatched aesthetic when we visited the regular version here, but now that it's all bright colored, it works really well.
Well, don't forget there were two versions of Super Mario Tree Land. There was the one during the day, and then there was one at night, and that was the one you complained about.
Right. I think this is based on the night one, though. Now, this one's actually kind of interesting in that you've got the restrictive time limit, but you're stuck on the tightropes, which kind of limit your speed to a drastic extent.
And you have a very narrow time limit in which to actually get to the goal.
So you can't really wait around for the fuzzies to get where you want them to be. Got all sorts of restrictions.
And if you're like the type of person who will just get like the minimum amount of like clocks necessary, you will have to go out of your way to get some here.
I became trained to just kind of be OCD and collect all the clocks, which is probably the best option.
That would mean you'd have all the time in the world.
That's actually a pretty easy flagpole, looks like.
They nerfed that one because you can't actually screw yourself out of it this time.
But yeah, you can see, even by the end of the level, we didn't run up too much time from collecting clocks, so that'll be tight pretty much the whole way through. There are other levels where you will get just excess time.
Already got a boomerang flower in reserve, thank you very much. I'm not giving up this game-breaking suit right here.
You know, for something featured so heavily, you'd think they'd balance it a bit better.
Yeah.
Anyway, this one, the swinging spike things move faster, I guess?
And that's about it, I guess. You've also got boomerang bros thrown into the mix.
And we got more of them, more of the spikes here. I guess, again, this would be much more difficult without the Tanuki suit, and you're making it look easier than it is.
Then again, I would edit out my deaths anyway, so it would look easier than it was anyway.
And you definitely need the suit for that, don't you?
Well, I suppose you could do it just with a regular wall jump, but there's like an element of safety using the raccoon/tanuki suit. Now this is pretty tricky right here.
Yeah, I will admit that, even with the Tanuki suit. And here you can't really wait for, like, ideal, swinging spike situations, because the donuts are ticking time bomb of sorts.
Kind of like what I said on the previous level, where you could like possibly put spikes on the rotating platforms. That mixes a dangerous element with a platform, and it just makes it that much more engaging.
Yeah, just put spikes everywhere.
That would be Kaizo Mario, though.
Now then, beat blocks with a twist. Now, only one color of beat block will appear at a time. Basically, if you don't have the Tanuki suit, you have to jump before it disappears and land when the other one appears. Which is easier said than done.
Oh, don't worry. There's another version of this later in the game, which is much harder.
And I'll complain about it when we get to it, but they're basing multiple levels off the same level, and I take issue with that.
It's kind of like, I forget, it was maybe the Gold Leaf Galaxy in Galaxy 1. You could tell by the end of the game they were already starting to reuse ideas.
And then they went and made a sequel that was, I don't know how they ran out of ideas.
Well, Galaxy 2 was just originally meant to be Galaxy 1.5.
Have I noted that I love this music? Like, a lot?
It's very chill.
It reminds me of something kind of like Bit Trip.
All the Bit Trip games.
Yeah.
I think Runner is my favourite out of those. Oh wow, just look at the timer, I didn't realise this world was so short.
And look at that, we gotta use our star coins to unlock the final level of a world. That's new.
It's definitely faster than it usually is.
Yeah. So it's almost moving at a pace that you might, like, enjoy. You don't have to wait around for the camera to catch up.
Yeah, by the way, that was not skill. I just fell off the platform and manically tried to get back on it.
And look, it's already over. Look at how short those levels are when you're moving at a pace you enjoy.
I know. Not even a boom boom fight. Not even a pom pom fight.
No siree.
I guess I should be thankful.
Oh, we'll make up for it.
Yep, that was World S3 of Super Mario 3D Land. Join us next time for World S4. See you then.